Hey guys, it's Tia Rain and I'm back. As you can see from the title of this video, we're gonna be talking about mental health questions again today and some things that I deal with a lot or have thought about a lot, especially because winter's coming around the corner and we get into these seasonal depression states, or we aren't able to go out and do things as often as we want to be able to do them. So this is a good time to stay in and and reflect on ourselves during these seasons. How do you love yourself when your mind has been your biggest enemy? Loving yourself is a hard part in general, okay? A lot of people have issues with loving yourself, period. But honestly, it's not just about self-care or looking out for yourself or doing things to make yourself feel better. That's like the easiest part of it all. Dealing with mental health can make even the simplest tasks feel like impossible to do sometimes, and it's very frustrating. It can pull you into a dark hole, and self-care is just not going to ever be enough to fix those issues. So loving yourself isn't just about forcing yourself to be positive or do things to make yourself feel better. Like I said, think about yourself deeply and really digging up things that you've covered over. Understanding how your mind works, what triggers you, what your limits are, and what actually fuels you instead of depleting you. It's noticing when your thoughts are lying to you or exaggerating fear, and choosing to respond with awareness rather than a reaction. In a social media based society, this becomes even harder because everywhere you look, people are showing their highlight reels while you're stuck surviving this like internal chaos when you deal with mental health issues. And it can feel impossible. Like, loving yourself is a privilege others have, but you don't. But it's not about matching anyone else's version of enough. It's about creating a version of enough that exists just for you. So a lot of people talk about, I forget the quote. It's like, I'm gonna look it up actually. Okay, so the quote that a lot of people talk about is, comparison is the thief of joy. All right, now a lot of people talk about this because it is true. Social media becomes so hard with this because you're seeing everything. You're like, oh my God, she's so pretty, he's so pretty, da da da. Why don't I look like this? Why am I not doing this? And I fall into the same type of issue. It's like, oh yeah, I wish I looked like this, but that's not even my biggest issue, is that I compare my success with other people. I feel like I'm always falling behind. When I'm sitting, laying down, taking a break that I genuinely need, that my brain needs, that my body needs to refuel myself, getting back up and ready to be doing things, I immediately start overthinking, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm behind. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I get up, I start working again. And that's how you get burnout, okay? So when you keep pushing yourself and pushing yourself and pushing yourself, I do that all the time to myself. Because it's like I have this obsessive feeling that I feel like I'm behind, and it's because I compare myself to other people's lives that are older than me, been doing this for longer. It's like, I cannot be doing that. No one can be doing that. It's like, you have your own path, you have your own life. It's not going to be exactly like someone else's. Step into me, casa. Okay. And here's the truth behind this all, is the mind that's been your enemy can also become your greatest ally. And that's why I say you need to be able to dig these holes out from yourself, because you're going to be able to learn these things about you. Once you learn yourself, because you already know yourself more than anyone else already does, and once you really know yourself more than everyone else does, like digging these things deeper down, like that type of stuff helps you. If you know your triggers and you know what issues you have or things that you need to work on and stuff, bitch, you're gonna be unstoppable. You already know yourself. You already know every move to your brain. All right, so through awareness, patience, and self-compassion, you can retrain it to see safety, possibility, and worth instead of constant threat. Loving yourself is not easy, especially with mental health struggles, but it's possible. The next question is, and these are all connecting to each other, I have a couple questions, is Why do we crave chaos when all we say is we want peace? First off, what is even peace? And it means different things to different people, okay? And this is something I deal with every single day of my life. Why do I crave chaos when one of my biggest goals in life is to feel utter peace and happiness? How does that make sense? They're completely opposite vocabulary words. How does that make sense? Okay, so like I was saying, I hate wearing glasses, but I need to read. So, like I was saying, why would I want this? Someone who deals with this every single day, you would think that's the last thing I want. Someone who also deals with mental issues, you would think it's the last thing I want. Someone who deals, and this is everyone that deals with issues and madness and bullshit, you would think they want peace and not chaos. All right? Not for me. For some goddamn reason. All right? So, and while I want to have all this peace and safeness and all these things in my life and just calmness, it seems so impossible to do. You know, because I feel like my life is just filled with chaos. Literally in art class, we had to pick, and this was in high school, we had to pick a word that best described us. I'm not going to take it off my wall. It's on my wall. And I chose chaos to best describe myself. Anyway, so I tell my mind that I want peace and my soul, but realistically, I don't. Like, I know I do, but I don't. And there's no way to really say that without making no sense at all. And like, why would I ever say that I want chaos? Who would say that? That sounds like stupid. It sounds crazy. Why would you ever want that within your life? And it roots back to the issue of that's all I'm used to. Same thing with doing drugs or being in an abusive relationship. That's all you're used to. Why people don't leave. It's all you're used to. It becomes so repetitive that it is normal for you, and it's all you're used to. I'm used to being in fight or flight like all the time because of my brain or situations around me. And it almost seems like because I am continuously surrounded by this chaos that I am attracting it in a way. Like I'm not manifesting it, but it seems like that. Like it's like the more you keep yourself within these environments, even if you don't want to, or it's not good for you, it's like what you're attracting or what I'm attracting. And it's what you bring to yourself. It's like how you attract people that are like you most of the time. It's like if you're, and then this isn't all the time. I mean, it's like if you act a certain way, or your friends even. Your friends are mostly like you. They like a lot of things like you, or like people around you are very similar to you in some ways. It's like that. But my issue is that I love the thrill, I love the drive, and I love being spontaneous. Like, I love being in spontaneous situations. And this isn't all the time. And that also goes back to my mental things that I deal with. Which I don't know if I'm ready to talk about on here yet because, you know, maybe one day. I feel all these things, and I shouldn't be putting myself in bad places and or scenarios just to feel this chaos overload that my brain and body basically craves. Like, it needs it or it wants it so bad, and it's ridiculous because why am I doing that to myself? But this jumps into the next question. How do you unlearn chaos when it's the only kind of comfort that you've ever known? I don't fucking know. No, I'm playing. Okay, so you start by realizing your brain isn't addicted to pain. It's addicted to predictability. When you grow up around chaos, emotional instability, constant highs and lows, walking on eggshells, your nervous system learns that unpredictability is normal, okay? And so when life finally gets quiet, your brain doesn't read it as peace. it reads it as danger, and it thinks something's wrong because there's no adrenaline, there's no threat to react to. That's why calm can feel uncomfortable for people when they're used to these type of environments. That's why for me, when I'm at a calm, I almost feel like I'm missing something, like I should be doing something, like I need to go rush do this, rush do that to feel my body, because I am not used to it. Like, I'm bored. Like, it's boring to me to be resting. Like, obviously, like I said, not all the time. Sometimes I'm completely burnt out and all I want to do is lay down and just relax. But a lot of the times my brain feels like this. Most people, their body is waiting for the next hit of stress because it's chemically familiar. Unlearning chaos isn't about suddenly loving peace. It's about retraining your nervous system to feel safe and calm, okay? And that means catching yourself when you start stirring things up just to feel something, like going and doing something that you shouldn't be doing, doing something impulsive that you should not be doing just to feel that rush. I myself doing some of that stuff, and it's like it's the next day and I'm like, damn, like why would I do that? Like, that's not even me. Like, why would I do these things? Like, when you're bored or like when you're doing nothing, you're like, damn, like I need to feel something, I need to do something. And when I mean that, like, this isn't a feeling of boredom, like, and oh, I want to go out and do something because I'm bored. This is a feeling of wanting to do something so crazy and put yourself in such bad scenarios to feel that rush. Like, I'm not talking about go and hang out with your friends or like, ooh, I'm gonna go text my crush, da, da, da. I'm talking about like literally doing something so crazy, like you're getting chased by the cops, you can go to jail, you're gonna get yourself in trouble, you're texting your ex that you shouldn't be doing because you just want to feel something. Like, it's just doing dumb stuff that you should not be doing. All right, this isn't a thing that everyone's gonna be able to relate to, but I'm putting this out there because I deal with this, and the people that I want to attract to my channel, I want them to be people that like to hear about these things that they don't know, that they don't deal with, and they want to understand it, or they like me as a person for what I do, or people that deal with this and don't understand, or they also deal with it and they want to talk about it and communicate about it. This is what I'm talking about it for. But you need to ground yourself, and a lot of ways that I ground myself, which I'm struggling with right now because for whatever reason it's just getting hard. But a lot of things that helped me was meditating, and you can look up meditating videos online, like 5-10 minute meditation videos, like before you go to school, before you're about to do something stressful, just to chill out, like chill out, right? You can journal. I love journaling. I still do this. Get a book. And you're like, what am I supposed to write about? What am I supposed to write about? I don't know what to write about. Like, that's so dumb. Why would I write? Da, da, da. Like, all this stuff. Pick up a book, put on some music, grab a pencil, grab a marker, grab whatever, just start writing. And you're like, well, I don't know what to write. Write what you feel. Write how your day's been. Write what's on your mind and just start writing. It doesn't have to be an essay. It doesn't have to be an article. No one else is reading it. It doesn't matter if it makes sense or if it's a story. Because my issue when I started journaling, I'm good at writing. I'm not good at telling stories. So I'd be writing, I'm like, this doesn't even make sense. Like, when I'm reading it back, it's like, it doesn't matter. No one else is going to be reading this. But slowly your brain will start to understand that peace isn't the absence of stimulation, it's the presence of safety. Oh, and last thing, you don't unlearn chaos overnight. So don't be watching this and then you're gonna go off and be like, I'm gonna do it all. I'm gonna do it all right now. Because I'm the same fucking way. If I watch like a mental health video to help me, I'm like, you know what? I'm so inspired. I'm gonna rewrite my entire life, my entire future, my entire existence tonight. And that never works out. And then I overstress myself and I do like maybe 1 or 2 things. I'm like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And then the next day happens and I don't do shit. I got 2 more questions. Question number 3 we're on is, what if the reason that you can't rest is because your brain does not trust you anymore? What does that even mean? So if your mind spent years in survival mode, it learned that being alert kept you safe. Every time you relaxed, something probably went wrong, so your brain wired itself to stay on guard, scanning for things, trying to look out for things. even peace, because you weren't used to it. And so when you finally slow down, that same sound, it's like an alert, like something's off. Like, why is it so quiet? Why is there nothing happening? Why are we doing nothing? Like that type of vibe. It's like a fire drill. It's going off, okay? And you start to feel restless, you feel guilty and even anxious, not because you're lazy or broken, because the calm feels unknown. Like, this is stuff that I'm repeating about what I deal with over and over again, but in different senses, okay? So, and we're gonna get into the science a little bit about this. So biologically, your nervous system has 2 gears, okay? So there's the fight or the flight, and the rest and the digest, okay? So when you're in fight or flight mode, your digestive system does not want to eat, because it's like, I got bigger things to worry about, okay? And when you're resting, you're chill, you're calm, you're peaceful. Okay, and then the last question, number 4, how do you stop fighting battles that no one's making you fight but you? Start by realizing most of these battles aren't happening around you anymore. They're happening inside of you, whether that's physically or emotionally. Your brain could still be replaying moments where you weren't enough, where you had to prove your worth, where staying defensive was how you survived. And psychologically, that's your amygdala. So that's in your brain. And it detects threat stuck in overdrive. And it doesn't know that the danger is gone. And it only understands what's been trained to feel. So like tension, readiness, and control. So you keep fighting, not because you want to, but because your nervous system doesn't trust peace anymore. You unlearn it by noticing the reflex. So once you notice the pattern, cook, bro. Cook, absolutely cook. And when your body tenses up for a fight that isn't there, you want to pause and ask, is this happening currently, or is this something that is retracing in my brain and bringing it up again off something that I felt, off something that I've seen that made me feel this way again? Same thing if something traumatic happens to you and you smell something, you see something, you hear something, or you feel something that was similar to a situation or similar to something that made that traumatic thing happen to you, or feel that traumatic thing. That's why you can get retraces of that entire memory. Same thing with like World War veterans or people that fought in the army. They get a lot of PTSD. That memory plays if they have a sense that they feel that link them to that scenario, or even like randomly their brain will retrace it and bring it up. So you need to ask yourself when those moments are happening, if it's current or if it's past events. And either way, you need to calm yourself down and just be like, understand what's going on and understand how to overcome that situation. That's where the healing backtracks again, learning about yourself, because when you're able to learn about yourself and understand things, you will know how to deal with those things, and they will not become such hard battles to fight, because once you learn how to deal with those things, it will become an easy, smooth ride. There's a lot to unpack about our brain and what people deal with on a day-to-day basis, and you shouldn't be judging people for what they go through, what they can't control. But that's pretty much it for today. That's all I got, but it was a lot, low-key. That's it for today. Make sure to like and subscribe. You know the gist, and I'll see you next time.